Imagine waking up in the middle of the night because something outside your tent has terrified you. Instead of using the entrance, you cut your way out from the inside and run into a freezing snowstorm without your boots or warm clothes. This really happened to 9 experienced hikers in the Ural Mountains in 1959. More than 60 years later, nobody knows exactly what scared them that night. The group was led by 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov, an experienced hiker and engineering student. Along with him were 8 other young people, most of them students or graduates of the Ural Polytechnic Institute. They weren't beginners. Every member of the group had experience hiking in extreme winter conditions. This expedition was supposed to be another challenge, not their final journey. In late January 1959, the group set off toward Mount Odorton, one of the most remote areas of the northern Ural Mountains. The journey began without any problems. They laughed, took photographs, wrote in their journals, and enjoyed the adventure. Looking at those pictures today, it's hard to believe they were taken just days before everything changed. Before reaching the final destination, one member of the expedition, Yuri Yudin, began feeling severe pain in his back and legs. He realized he couldn't continue the journey and made the difficult decision to return home. The other 9 hikers continued into the mountains alone. Yuri Yudin became the only member of the group who survived. On February 1st, the group reached the eastern slope of a mountain known as Kholat Syakhl. In the language of the local Mansi people, its name means dead mountain. Instead of moving into the nearby forest for shelter, the hikers decided to set up their tent on the open mountainside. It would be the last camp they ever made. The group was expected to send a telegram after completing the expedition. Days passed, but no message arrived. At first, nobody was too worried. Delays were common during winter expeditions, but as more time passed, their families began to fear that something had gone terribly wrong. After several days without any news, rescue teams were finally sent into the mountains. Volunteers, experienced climbers, soldiers, and even aircraft joined the search. The weather made the operation extremely difficult, but after days of searching, they finally found something. It was the hikers' tent. At first glance, the tent looked almost normal. But when investigators examined it more closely, they noticed something shocking. The fabric had been cut open from the inside. Inside the tent were backpacks, boots, warm jackets, food, cameras, and personal belongings. Whatever happened, the group had left in an incredible hurry. Investigators soon discovered footprints leading away from the tent. The tracks showed that the hikers had walked down the mountain instead of running. Some of the footprints appeared to have been made without boots, wearing only socks or even barefoot. The trail disappeared after several hundred meters under fresh snow. After days of searching, rescuers made their first tragic discovery. Beneath a large cedar tree, about 1.5 kilometers from the tent, they found the bodies of Yuri Doroshenko and Yuri Krivonishenko. Both men were wearing very little clothing despite the freezing temperatures, and next to them were the remains of a small campfire. Broken branches high in the cedar tree suggested that one or both of them had climbed it, possibly trying to see the tent or escape danger. As the search continued, rescuers found 3 more bodies scattered between the cedar tree and the abandoned tent. One of them was Igor Dyatlov himself. Their positions suggested that they had been trying to make their way back to the tent after leaving it. None of them made it. Nearly 3 months later, after the snow began to melt, the remaining 4 hikers were finally discovered in a nearby ravine under several meters of snow. What investigators saw next changed the entire case. Several of the last 4 hikers had suffered devastating internal injuries, including fractured ribs and severe skull damage. Surprisingly, many of these injuries showed very little external damage to the skin. One victim was missing her tongue, while others were missing soft tissue from their faces. Experts later suggested that some of this damage could have been caused by natural decomposition and scavenging animals after death. So, what really happened on that mountain? Over the years, dozens of theories have tried to explain the Dyatlov Pass Incident. The most widely accepted explanation today is a small avalanche. According to this theory, a layer of snow began to slide toward the tent during the night. Fearing they could be buried, the hikers quickly cut their way out and escaped down the slope. Later, in the darkness and extreme cold, they became separated and were unable to find their way back. Land. More than 60 years later, the Dyatlov Pass Incident remains one of the world's greatest unsolved mysteries. Despite modern investigations, no single theory has answered every question, and many researchers still believe important details remain unexplained. Perhaps we'll never know what truly happened on that freezing February night. What do you think happened? Share your theory in the comments, and if you enjoy real mysteries and true historical stories, be sure to subscribe for more.